Welcome back to my channel, everyone, for a brand new review here. And about a weekend, not even a week and a half ago, this last week actually, within this week, I saw the brand new Captain America movie. Um, it was interesting, I would say, especially with it being the first Captain America movie we have that is not Steve Rogers' Captain America with Chris Evans. We have Anthony Mackie in the lead role from the Falcon that he was in the previous MCU films, now taking on the role of Captain America after his own Disney Plus series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And there's a lot to pretty much get out of this hero, especially from his series and what they're continuing off from that show and just from his Falcon character forward, everything. And all these new characters, and old and new, Harrison Ford, of course, being a part of this cast, replacing the late William Hurt. And that's some stuff I'll have to get into for sure, because it was quite an interesting role change, I will say, in actors and how they portray the character and what they fleshed out to the screen. But this new film, I did not hate it. The critics, if you've not been paying attention to critics online, at least Rotten Tomatoes, they have made it the third rotten film in the MCU film, out of the MCU, following Eternals and Quantumania from Ant-Man and the Wasp. But this film, even the other two films, I don't think they deserve their scores that they get negative like. But this film, it continued off of things and finished up a lot of plot holes that we really did need. First of all, being a lot of stuff coming from The Incredible Hulk, the second film in Phase 1 and in the MCU. This being weirdly a Captain America and an Incredible Hulk film, but without Bruce Banner or any of his other characters, just bringing back William Hurt and Samuel Stearns as the leader, which that was another thing I'll have to go on, which I think is quite interesting of how he portrayed the role. But yeah, so much things had to be expected from this new film, especially with it being the first film with not Chris Evans, Steve Rogers. A lot of stuff with this film, going into it right away. The film starts off pretty fast in what they're trying to go with the plot and everything, and the title card for the MCU was very interesting. They had it like a weird neo-noir style, which we technically already saw in the trailer, just the flashes Marvel Studios presents. We don't even get that normal like title card. It just says Brave New World when we get into the film, not Captain America Brave New World, just Brave New World until the end credits start rolling, where they give the full name with the Captain America added on. But this film, it was very action-packed, I will say, and with it still being the new film out of the MCU, it was a lot of new things to experience and just take in. Especially with it bringing back old characters that we haven't seen in literally 16 years, I guess, is how they're putting it, 16, 20 years, honestly, around there. But yeah, this film gave up a lot of things, and it connecting back to Eternals, a film that critics also did not like and enjoy, but still continuing and trying to finish up, or at least adding on to stuff from that film into the new solid story world that we have within the MCU without going too multiversal or cosmic. Very light on the cosmic stuff, honestly, but also adding adamantium to the plot, which is, if you don't know, a very big step forward for Marvel, especially with how that metal and material from Marvel Comics is a big thing for X-Men characters, especially the biggest one we know, who had his own film in the last MCU film, Deadpool and Wolverine. Wolverine himself, his claws, and then Deadpool's actual swords, those are adamantium, and just other stuff. So it's very interesting how they're just kind of connecting little things, but going forward here, it's going to be quite an interesting ride, especially with, we only have Thunderbolts left in Phase 5 in the TV shows, and then Phase 6 is still a mystery with how they're working that out. Especially with how Phase 3 was pretty long in the amount of films they released, so hopefully this new phase will get that long enough stuff, just not more shows, more movies, hopefully. But Captain America Brave New World had that action I was saying from the very beginning. There was a lot of reshoots and a lot of post-production, production stuff that went wrong and good, back and forth. A lot of recastings, especially with Seth Rollins from the WWE being replaced with Giancarlo Esposito for Sidewinder of the Serpent Society. That's not really that much spoiler, but behind the scenes stuff right there. Samuel Stearns himself, his character, very interesting with how he looked at and how they portrayed him now as more of this villain. But a lot of the stuff you can definitely tell that they changed from the original plot for his character and what he was doing for his revenge quest, I would say, in a way. And to this promotional stuff, a lot of this stuff was shown in the trailers, I will say, unfortunately. The Red Hulk fight, amazing as it is, a lot of that stuff is shown in the trailer. But still amazing third act, I would say, for this film. But everything else, from the Eternals, the Tiamat battle in the Indian Ocean, from the pilots and stuff, that was really done well. I wish it was a little bit longer just because of the location. I wish we got to be in that location longer because of the Eternal, just the Celestial being such a big thing to the story plot, with it being maybe all of it being made maybe all of it being adamantium, or just the inner core of it with what they're explaining in the film. But a lot of this stuff coming together is so interesting, and how it also kind of ties into real world stuff and depictions of people. Even though they kind of, at the end of the film, I found it funny how they literally put any depictions of people or events are not trying to like target real life stuff, which Trump and all that stuff is pretty much what they're trying to cover themselves on. But great film, I think, honestly. The action, going back to that, action packed so much. And I would say, even though I was disappointed a bit with the Serpent Society just because of casting wise and all that, Giancarlo, at least himself, made a good impression. I don't know if it's a good impression enough for his own Disney Plus series, like he was mentioning when he first got casted. I think a lot of stuff in post-production may have changed maybe some of that storyline for him and the Serpent Society. But who knows? The Disney Plus and just Marvel, they need their projects in Phase 6 stuff and stuff, everything going forward. They want to get what they can and world build. But some letdowns, I would say, with certain aspects of the film and groups and characters that they bring in, but still really enjoyable, and I wouldn't mind seeing the film again in theaters, maybe again, but who knows. But this was really an enjoyable film, I think. I wouldn't really listen to the critics exactly, not really, but just go into this film for your own perspective and curiosity, if you do have that, and make your own opinion on if it's good or bad, not someone's watch if they even watched it. So let me know your guys' thoughts on this, because what a film, I thought, honestly. Just especially getting Anthony Mackie having his own film. So like Tom Holland, sorry, like you gotta watch what you say in the future about those certain stuff. But thank you for doing this video, of course, everyone, and let me know what your guys' thoughts were on Brave New World, Captain America, this just fourth film. And if you guys enjoyed it yourselves, and where you would probably place it with the other films and within the MCU. So thank you for tuning in this channel, and tune in for more reviews and reactions here, and take care, everybody.